use that. Why? That's mommy's. Use this if you want to smell like daddy.
You never had to question if you were a man, so why give your money to a corporation that doesn't know if their products are made for men? Try Jeremy Razor's hair and body products. Jeremy shampoo and conditioner are made with tea tree oil to naturally clean and restore your hair and scalp, argan oil to soften your hair and not your masculinity, and aloe vera to moisturize the hair and scalp. It's all paraben-free, sulfate-free, phthalate-free, and most importantly, 100% woke-free. Not to mention, it smells amazing. Go to jeremyrazors.com and use my special code BURNS15 to save 15% off. That's jeremyrazors.com. Use my special code BURNS15 to save 15% off.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In today's episode, we are going to go down south. We're talking about New Orleans. Latoya Cantrell. She's the mayor of New Orleans, and she has been caught up in some scandalous activities. The first thing that I don't know if you guys heard of, she spent the city's money to travel to France or somewhere to meet Brad Pitt, and she spent literally $30,000 for first class tickets to go to wherever she went to. And the city made her pay it back. The city council said, no, this is a trip that is a personal vacation. We will not fund your trip. So they made her pay that $30,000 back. Why did she have to spend $30,000? I don't know. But she's been doing some other stuff. She's hired this personal stylist, and the stylist has been costing the taxpayers money, over $175,000 for a span of 3 to 4 years for this personal stylist. And then now she has allegedly been sleeping with her security detail. Okay, this is allegedly. We don't know the facts for real, but it's in this lady's divorce proceedings. Okay, so we'll talk about that today, all on another episode of Business Talks.
Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Looks a little something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad.
Okay, let's see who we got in the building. We have Lamar Copeland, Brooke Red. Thank you for tuning in. Kathy Fields, nice seeing you. Carolyn Cruz, thank you for tuning in. And also, I love my ad block. Okay, I love my ad block too. All right, this is what happens when you vote on color and not the character. Yeah. That's literally what happens. You get these women that are really messy, some messy women. I mean, what is going on with the Black women these days? I did receive a comment. This was maybe a couple of weeks ago. Somebody put it in the comments saying, oh, you only report on Black women. I'm like, Black women and Black men. I report on everybody. I did a hit piece about that Lauren Borbett, that lady. If you follow me, I do a hit piece on everybody. If it's really ridiculous, I'm doing a hit piece on you. If it is something with corruption, I might do a hit piece on you. I will. So you guys, speaking of hit piece, the hit piece that I did yesterday on the unnamed assailant, I'm not going to even say his name. Somebody in his little camp got my video taken down because they said I revealed some personal information. I believe all the information I revealed was public information, but they said it's personal information that he allegedly does not work for the village of Dalton, allegedly, because he didn't put it on his bankruptcy. That's public. Okay. Let me just pull up his name right quick before we get to our main story. And this is just to get him removed. This is a petition to get him removed from office. Okay. He is not an elected official. He was voted in. He was appointed by your super mayor and appointed by your super mayor. I'm going to share this in a tab. And appointed by your super mayor and voted in by the board of trustees. Unbeknownst to them, they probably didn't know he had a criminal past. They probably didn't know he had a criminal past. And this is back when your girl was avid, very adamant. I said adamant about not going retroactive to check people's backgrounds because he didn't want his background to be revealed. And some other things that I recently discovered about him. So if you guys just go to change.org and sign that petition to get him removed. He is saying that he is, he's the administrator. He has access to their funds. He doesn't know how to manage his own funds. Okay. He doesn't know how to manage his own funds. I'm not going to even say his name. We know who he is. I didn't put this up there. The residents of Dalton put this up there. So if he wants to get mad at somebody, get mad at your very own people that you're robbing. Okay. Y'all trying to go up on their taxes. For what? What reason are you trying to go up on their taxes? So you could have some petty cash, some spending money, so you could further put the village of Dalton in debt? You guys let me know. Am I going off in the wrong direction? So this guy needs to go and we are going to take him down. Okay. They took my video down. So, I mean, all I can do is laugh about it, but I got another video that's going to come up. I got my editors working on it and they don't get no information, no personal identifying information on this video. Okay. So anyway, let's get back to our main story of the hour. Main story of the hour. This is in Daily Mail. Daily Mail just posted this. And it's saying New Orleans embattled then mayor Latoya Cantrell faces 2 more corruption scandals over her closeness to bodyguard who flew first class with her to meet Brad Pitt. Remember I told you that $30,000 flight ticket? Brad Pitt. Okay. Why are you spending, number one, why are you spending the taxpayers' money to meet your boo thing in Hollywood? I mean, everybody think Brad Pitt is super cute, I guess. So you wanted to meet your boo thing, your crush, your Hollywood crush. You wanted to spend the taxpayers' money. And a criminal investigation into her $175,000 image consultant. I think everyone needs an image consultant, but do you pay your image consultant $6,000 a month? You guys put in the chat. Should a mayor, I'm assuming she makes a pretty good salary because New Orleans is a very large city. So I'm assuming she's probably clocking in about $200,000 a year. So she's spending $6,000 a month on image consultant. This is just image. I'm not talking about a PR person. Image consultant. $6,000 a month. And they have these bullet points on here. She argued it's not safe for Black women to fly economy. Like, who are you? I didn't even know who she was. Like, let's look at this lady picture. This is the mayor. And believe it or not, she's only 50. That's her boo thing, allegedly. This is the mayor. Let me see if I can find a better picture of her. More attractive picture. Don't want to put her on blast, but let's see if we can find a more attractive picture of her. This is your mayor of New Orleans, Nolans. We call it Nolans. She is spending $6,000 a month on imagery consultant fees. I guess hair, makeup, clothing, and stuff like that. $6,000 a month. This lady does her shopping for her. Let me just show you this lady if they have the picture here. I'll find her picture while we were talking about it. But anyway, she spent $6,000 a month on the picture, on her image. Okay, and it's also saying that Cantrell is facing questions as why her bodyguard also flew first class with her, in particular on a LA trip to a VIP event with Brad Pitt. Okay. And they were stressing, hey, you got all these elite people, Hollywood folks, you know, it's going to be some security there. So why would you bring your security detail with you? Does your security detail really need to be with you to LA? I'm not for sure. I don't know. You guys put it in the chat. She's going to be around super famous people, you know, it's going to have security there. Okay. So that's their main argument. You didn't need your bodyguard there. Then Cantrell is also being asked to account for the bodyguard's extended hours spent inside a city-owned apartment she uses. Apparently, he spent 27 days in this apartment. Somebody was following. They got videos of him spending 27 days in this apartment. And the real issue comes in is, was he clocking in? Was he on city time? That leads to some questions. And then it leads to some questions. Okay, why are you in the apartment for 5 to 6 hours at a time? That's what they put on this video. They say he was in this apartment 5 to 6, 7 hours at a time. So she argued that it was not safe for a Black woman to fly economy, but members of the council disagreed, and almost $29,000 was repaid. So they made her pay the flight back, which she should. Now, we thought Tiffany was doing something damage. She spent like $3,000 on a flight. This fool spent $29,000 on the flight. Like, what in the world? What? You spent $29,000 on a flight. So, and she thought that was okay. Okay, what is wrong with these people? I'm not for sure. And now the Democrat has faced, I don't know why they keep on calling her a Democrat. Let's just call her not his mayor, crazy lady, mayor, and now face questions over her selective use of male bodyguard, who has spent hours with Cantrell while she allegedly does little work, and who joined her on a luxury trip to Los Angeles to meet Brad Pitt. So I'm going to share this video with you. This is a very interesting video because Fox 8 Local First, back in Latoya Cantrell, having this extramarital affair. And this divorce filings alleges Mayor Cantrell had this extramarital affair with her husband. That's basically, and she didn't spell out her name, but she put her initials. So who else would he be? He spends all times with her. So who else would it be? It gets so deep that she specified each day that they was doing the do. Now you could tell, now this lady kept track. She kept track of all the days her husband was missing in action and just assumed, hey, he ain't serving the community, he's serving the mayor.
Extramarital affair with a former member of her security team.
Yeah, Crime Watchdog says the filing raises ethical and potentially criminal issues for Cantrell and the NOPD officer. Here's our latest outside the office investigation. The wife of NOPD officer Jeffrey Vappy filed an amended divorce petition this month, claiming in November of last year she became aware of an inappropriate relationship between Vappy and someone she calls Mrs. LC. A source confirms that is New Orleans Mayor Latoya Cantrell.
So I think this divorce petition basically raises several ethical and potentially criminal issues for Officer Vappy. And the mayor is caught in the crosshairs of all of this.
In the divorce filing, Vappy's...
Just want to hats off to the lady that's filing divorce. She didn't put the mayor on blast, but she did kind of put the mayor on blast. But she knew everybody's going to put the two and two together. But she looks like she was trying to, be cordial about this whole revealing of who's sleeping with her husband. So kudos to her. She's trying to be civil.
His wife says her husband has been in an ongoing sexual relationship with Cantrell since May of 2021. That's when Vappy joined her executive protection team. The filing says Cantrell and Vappy engaged in a sexual relationship and cites specific dates in August and September of last year. Most of those dates detailed in a series of outside the office reports. For example, the petition mentions August 2nd. On that date, a security camera in front of the city's Upper Pontaba apartment shows Vappy spending 5 hours and 40 minutes of his workday inside the apartment with the mayor. In the petition, Vappy's wife says her husband confirmed to her that he was involved in an adulterous affair with Mayor Cantrell. For Vappy, this relationship could violate several NOPD policies.
Well, involvement in a romantic relationship with one of his assigned duties, professionalism, performance of duty, adherence to law, and honesty and truthfulness.
But the head of the Metropolitan Crime Commission says the potential violations for Vappy could be even more severe if during time he was paid by taxpayers, he wasn't doing work expected of him by the police department.
He wasn't doing work expected by the police department, but he was doing work that was expected by the mayor. Okay. Like I said, he was putting in work. Let me highlight some of these comments. You guys are crazy. Coffee says $6,000 per month on your image just to end up looking like Roz from the nightclub. Looking like Roz from the nightclub. Roz is the lady that's in the back handling the woman. She in the back telling the woman what they got to do. That's her. That's what she looked like. Yeah, so he was expected to fulfill a duty, but it wasn't the same duty he had to fulfill with the New Orleans Police Department. Okay, those are two different work duties. Okay, you got the mayor, what the mayor expected and what the city police department expected for him to do. So, hey, he had to put that work in to keep his job, right?
Okay, so potentially payroll fraud. If he was on city time, padding his payroll, if he was malfeasant in office, he wasn't performing his official assigned duties while he was with the mayor, those are potential state violations. And if there are federal violations involved in it, it could be wire fraud, because he put in timesheets for time that he may not have actually been working. There may be a program fraud, because federal funds were used to fund city government and the police department. And if he wasn't doing his assigned responsibilities during those times, those are potential federal violations. And the mayor is potentially a principal to all of that.
Goyeneche says the mayor also might have violated city policy, and as the FBI Inspector General and police department investigate these and other allegations, Goyeneche says it's possible the violations by the mayor could be even more severe.
She is the chief elected official in the city of New Orleans. She knows full well that officers are supposed to be performing their duties, and she is essentially Officer Vappy's assignment. So if she is having him come visit her, and this petition talks about dates, and the videos that you have of Officer Vappy coming and going from that Pantabla building, and none of the other officers were coming and going from that, those are all indications of potential payroll fraud, malfeasance in office, and there's the corresponding federal violations that could apply to those same factual circumstances there.
For the mayor too?
Absolutely.
So the mayor could have some criminal, questions raised with her here, potentially.
I believe so. I believe so.
You've been around politics a long time.
Yes.
Have you ever seen something quite like
Now, you guys tell me, put it in the chat. Are they picking on her because she's a black woman? All politicians, you could say, this is some of the comments that I see. All politicians do it. White politicians do this, and they don't complain when white politicians do this. They're only complaining because these ladies are black and they're getting away with it. Put it in the chat. Do you think this is all about race? The people of New Orleans, they have a problem with it because she's a black woman. She's a black woman. They have a problem with her spending $29,000 to go to France. Someone put it in the chat. She did spend another $15,000, $20,000 to go to Dubai with her boyfriend, by the way. Don't know what she spent to go to Los Angeles to see Brad Pitt. Then she spends about $6,000 a month on her image. Are they saying this is only an issue because, or this is only an issue because she's a black woman in politics? You guys put it in chat. Let me know.
like this?
No, this is completely different.
Rosalind Blanco Cook worked in the communications department for former mayors Mark Morial and Ray Nagin and the RTA. She now teaches a class at Tulane. She says a relationship with a subordinate is improper in any line of work.
Typically in corporations, companies, even sometimes mom and pop operations, it's very touchy about having relations or starting dating a subordinate.
Cook thinks most New Orleanians will be upset to find out about allegations of the mayor's relationship with a subordinate, as the two spent hours together in a city-owned apartment during the workday.
I think that the majority do not like it. They sort of like, what's next? They don't like the idea that perhaps first, as you mentioned, with the subordinate, and then also the idea that she's not putting in the time that she should be putting in.
The divorce filings say Vappy and his wife have lived separate and apart since November 10th, 2022. That's the day after our first story on Vappy and Cantrell ran. Goyeneche thinks investigators might want to speak to Vappy's wife to determine her knowledge of their relationship and to get a better understanding of what they were doing while the two spent hours together outside the office.
On the dates that she alleges, while he is being paid, if he is not doing
City business,
that is a potential criminal violation?
I believe it is.
And
I think it's malfeasance in office because he's being paid for not performing his official duties.
And is that a violation for the mayor potentially too?
I think that makes her a principal to it because she's the chief officer for the city of New Orleans. And she's not doing her official duties either.
We reached out to the mayor's office for a response to the filing, but did not hear back. Vappy was removed from the mayor's security team as our series of investigative reports aired. I do want to take a moment to further explain our decision-making process for airing this report. We found out about the initial divorce filing back in November. Despite the fact that it is a public document, we made an editorial decision not to report on it then because we felt it was a personal issue. However, that changed with this new filing since it alleges a sexual relationship between the mayor and her subordinate, a violation of city policy. It also leads to more questions about how the pair spent time at a city-owned apartment during the workday when both Cantrell and Vappy are being paid by taxpayers.
I mean, what do you expect? Okay, yeah, it's more questions being raised because of this. Now, is this a problem because this lady is a Black female? Is only a problem because she is a Black female? Or is it a real problem because she's breaking these codes of ethics? She's sleeping around and she's going on these luxurious trips on the taxpayer's dime. In this article, it says he spent 112 hours at her apartment over a 20-day stretch and was even seen watering her plants. Cantrell's stylist, who she paid $175,000 since 2017, is also facing a possible criminal probe over the thousands she spent on clothes for the lawmaker. I know they get a budget of what they should spend. I'm not for sure image consultant budget. I don't know. You guys put it in the chat, but I know they have this budget. But you think image consultant, that should run out of your pocket. You want to buy some nice clothes. I don't think the city should be funding, your designer purses, your designer clothes. I don't think they would appreciate that. You look good on your dime. That's why they pay you $200 and some $1,000 a year. Okay. So yeah, I would have a problem with that. In recent months, her administration has been dodged by allegations of misuse of funds and resources, with the Democrat leader even complaining to the Society for her professional journalists about the scrutiny. The journalist's body found the investigation were entirely appropriate and journalistically ethical. So in this video, this next video I'm about to show you, she's going tit for tat with the journalist. And one of the journalists, I guess he's been really on her, or very, what do you call it? Opinionated about Cantrell's work ethics. And she was really irritated by this. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this is it. And what can you say? I mean, they're doing their job. You can't really say anything more about this. Skip ahead. I don't know why I keep on going to add. Oh, this is it. This is it.
Snap your W-2 and file your taxes 100% free. Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. 1040 and limited credits only. Get the Intuit TurboTax app now.
Mayor Cantrell, as a result of an investigative report, the allegations out there are that you're misusing the city's apartment by spending too much time there with a city employee, and that it's an abuse of your authority. What would you say to that, and are you worried about the Inspector General's investigation into the city's apartment?
Right, so what I will say to that is that one, it has been thoroughly vetted relative to the law department and even with the French Market Corporation. The use of the Pentala that is provided to the mayor of the city, it is consistent from years past. This has been on the books since the 1800s, and again, my use is consistent with that of mayors of the past.
And the Inspector General's investigation, is that a concern for your office?
No, I welcome, any investigations that are necessary to ensure that one, I'm always above board and absolutely doing the city's work.
Cantrell, you say you're working 24/7, and the records show that you spend a lot of the workday at the Upper Pentava apartment with an NOPD officer. The city has crime and infrastructure issues. You've spent nearly 20% of the year out of town or out of the country. Many of those trips with an NOPD officer. Is any of that appropriate?
So, Mr. Zurich, thank you for being here. It kind of freaks me out to see you, quite frankly, because you've been very inappropriate, in my opinion. But relative to your accusations, none of them add up at all. But in regards to my work for the city of New Orleans, it's really unmatched. I can point to results on the ground. The budget hearings that are underway right now speak to the work that my administration and my team has done and continues to do for the city of New Orleans relative to public safety, relative to housing, relative to infrastructure, and I can literally go on and on and on. But what you will not challenge me on are the results of my administration and the priorities that we've set for this city, which in fact, the city of New Orleans has been recently included top 10 cities, fastest growing cities in the United States of America because we're doing the work.
Not to cut her off, but this is what I want people to realize. And hopefully, if you're in the space of where you're doing good for your community, when you get caught up with salacious stuff, ethical things, and even though you're doing really good for the community, it's overshadowed by your unethical deeds. People don't care. One case in point, Tiffany Henyard. They said she does a lot of stuff for the community, but her unethical ways and practices overshadows what she's doing good. Just like DA Fonnie Willis, she was touting how she decreased the case log by 50% since she's been a DA at Fulton County, and how she's getting her back to work program to get people off the streets and out of the prison system to make that smooth transitions to make them productive members of society. But it's all overshadowed by this unethical deed that she performed in the public. Okay, so it doesn't matter how many deeds or things that you said, oh, these are great things. These are great accomplishments. These are great accolades. It really doesn't matter because you're unethical, and people have a problem with that. Nobody wants a harlot running their city. Nobody wants a floozy because they look to you. Hey, this is supposed to have been a Black woman that's on the up and up. And they probably hired you because, okay, she's probably a safe choice because she's married and grounded and all that good stuff. But come to find out, you have a problem. You have an ethical problem. So it doesn't matter how many deeds that you've done, it's overshadowed by all this messiness. Anyway.
And more importantly, based on the budget that is happening right now, It demonstrates the priorities of my administration and the priorities even touted in the article in terms of where we need to continue to focus so that we become better and stronger than this city has ever been before. We're on a great trajectory and the best is yet to come. Thank you so much.
So again, Ms. Mayor.
Thank you very much.
I thought I get a follow-up question.
No, thank you.
Why don't everybody else gets a follow-up. Why don't I get a follow-up question?
Sir, you're the one who touts having over 680 hours of me, filming me, at an apartment, sir, that I have, one, the authority to use in my capacity as mayor of the city of New Orleans. So, sir, you've done more than any other reporter in this room that has been, in my opinion, in violation of me as a human being. So with that, sir, thank you very much.
It's a public property that's
thank you very much, sir.
Public
Thank
records
you.
request.
Thank you,
sir.
and we know, and thank you very much.
WDSU.
Mayor Cantrell.
And one other thing I would like to point out. Okay, so she's saying he violated her personal privacy or whatever. Okay, you have, and they put it in one of these documents, in one of these news reports, the mayor and her husband, I guess they're broken up now, they have a house not too far away from this apartment. This $500,000, this $500,000 house. So why do you need to stay in this apartment? No, you stayed in this apartment because you wanted to get, I was about to say something nasty. You know what you wanted to do. I was about to get all dirty on you, but I ain't gonna say it. I'm not about to say that. But she wanted to, sow her wild oats. And, that's her main problem. She could have just stayed in the house where she's supposed to be at. But instead, you're at just a city apartment and you expect people not to wonder why. Hey, why is she at this city apartment? 112 days. Look at this officer. Her officer is going in. Her police detail, her security detail is going into this apartment. And he's staying in there for 5 hours at a time. What are they doing in there? They ain't working. Showing them going in and out, and she has some leggings on, not even dressed for work. You're the mayor, so usually mayors, they walk around in suits and stuff. No, not her. She's walking around in some stretch pants, like they was out on the time grabbing coffee or going shopping, like it was a free day on the city of New Orleans. So, and you're getting mad at the reporter for reporting the nonsense, and they have a right to know. So you was exposed. Look at this picture. You was exposed. You got your leggings on. Now I can see you said, "Oh, you're gonna take a run with me." Okay, you the mayor, you taking a run or whatever. But that doesn't look like you was doing that. Both parties have denied trysting at a city-owned apartment, despite video surveillance showing them entering and exiting the residence together at all hours. Cantrell has forcefully denied the reports on several occasions. Based on the false allegations that come my way, by the time I finish this job, literally, I'd be accused of sleeping with half of the city of New Orleans. She said at a press conference this month after being asked about vappy, both genders and all pronouns. In a text exchange with a NOLA.com reporter, Cantrell asserted that she was being scrutinized because she is a woman. Well, let's dissect that for a minute. If I'm a woman a married woman at that, or even a single woman, and I have this high power position, I know people are going to talk about me if they see this officer coming in my place where I'm sleeping or whatever, or staying 5 to 6 hours at a time. You don't even want that to happen. So being you, she's a 50-something-year-old woman, 51, I believe. 51, you should have the common sense knowledge saying, hey, does this look good on the outside looking in? If I was a citizen of New Orleans, what would I say about this? Common sense knowledge. And I don't know why we are lacking common sense in 2024. We got a lot of turned up mayors lately. A lot of turned up in these high powered positions. We got a lot of turned up, batty watty people that's in these high powered positions that they're not thinking logically. Like they lost all logical sense to operate in a manner, well, hey, I am the mayor. I need to move in this way strategically because I don't want to tarnish my image. Not I do what the F I want to do because I'm the mayor. No. You don't move like that. Now, even Brandon Johnson, I'm very critical of Brandon Johnson. Brandon Johnson, he don't be moving like that. You think he have his security detail, even though he ain't that way, but just say he had woman security detail. You think that we'd be reporting him? Oh, he had a woman in there all hours of the night. He ain't being, oh, let me do what the F I want to do. Now, he get on the defense, but in his defense, he do a lot of nutty stuff, lack of common sense stuff, but look how he's moving. He ain't moving like I don't give a F. He ain't moving like that. Anyway, both Cantrell and Vappy have been barred from using the Upper Ponce Alba residence since footage of their entries and exits came to the light. City Council said the apartment had traditionally been used for meetings with visiting dignitaries rather than long-term personal use. Cantrell's New Orleans' first mayor in history was elected in 2017 and was reelected in 2021. The Democrat has previously come under fire from the local outlets for making personal purchases on city credit cards accounts. Local political opponents launched a recall effort to oust her from the office, but failed to gather enough signatures to trigger a vote. They didn't gather enough signatures. New Orleans Political Observer have drawn parallels between Cantrell's entanglement and former Nashville Mayor Megan Barry, who was forced to resign in 2018 after admitting an affair with a married member of her security detail. Another woman. We're going to do a hit piece about her because I didn't even know about her. Megan Barry. And this is a white woman. A woman, period. I guess it doesn't matter if she's black or white. Why am I not surprised? Like that Lauren Borbett person, she's a representative. Remember, a few months back, I did a piece about her. She's a Republican, and she was going, I guess she was high, and she and her boyfriend thought it was okay to be rude and obnoxious in a play about Beetlejuice, and they was filling each other up. Now, Both of them are not. Well, I don't know. Lauren Borbett, I think she's divorced. I think she is divorced, and I think the guy that she was with, she's dating him. Everybody knew she was dating him, I guess. And he's a bar owner or whatever. But reason why her story died down is because she's single, and that other guy was single. The guy that she was dating, he's single. He's not married. Okay, so we need to think about, hey, the people that you sleep in with are the first question. Am I in a position? This is I should be an asshole and start drawing out. What kind of board is it where you draw out if this question is yes, go to this. If this question is no, then stop. Okay. Am I a city official? Yes. Is the person that I want to get involved with, is this person a subordinate? Yes or no? If it's yes, then no, you should not act on this. If it's no, how does is this other person married? If the answer is yes, then you stop here. Go no further with this relationship. It seems like we need an infographic card for these people, like common sense knowledge. You don't sleep with other people's mans. This is common sense, you guys. Common sense. If you're a city official, you don't sleep with your subordinates. All the pieces that's walking around that you could sleep with, and you decide you can even sleep with Joe Schmo off the street. But all the people that's walking around, you're going to sleep with somebody that's your subordinate. Does that even make any sense? Somebody put it up here, which I thought, I really appreciate this comment. I thought it was funny, but it's pretty true. On certain men, I could say certain men, because some men, they're really manly men. You ain't about to control none of their access to their money. You're not about to do that. Somebody put up here, men always trying to work for some money than actually work, or something like that. I'll find it in the comment, but yeah, you have people out here, and some men, they rather, lay their pipe down than actually do the work. And that's why you can't respect. And then you get these silly women thinking they actually really are interested in them. What's going to happen to Fonnie Willis when that well runs dry? That gigolo gonna go. He gonna be out the door onto his other trick. This next trick, his next bag, so he could get the money. You think he gonna keep Fonnie Willis around? No, he's not. This lady right here, the mayor, where's her face at? Hey, everybody need love, but she's not the prettiest woman. She's not the prettiest woman. Somebody said she looked like Roz from the nightclub. She looked like Roz from the nightclub, and she expect you to be all in love. You think that man gonna be around after you lose your high paying position? The water done dried up. Look at this guy. You think he actually in love with her? He could be. He kind of looks square, but he's younger too. He looks fairly younger than her. Not for sure how young he is from her, but he looks younger. Okay, this is the stylist lady that she's paying $6,000 per month in 2021, they said, and it increased over time. It increased over time. But like I said, you are a person in a position that's of authority and power. You're a city servant. You are a city official. You need to act in a way like a city official will. You shouldn't be doing the stuff that other people are doing. People might be like, oh, they got to live their life. Nope, they don't have a life. When you sign that oath saying, hey, I'm a servant, I'm a public servant, you have no life. Your life is the city's or the state or whatever. And if you can't find a man that doesn't directly conflict with the interests of the city of New Orleans, then you don't need no man. You don't need one. That's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. This is the house that she doesn't want to spend time in. This house. Pretty decent neighborhood. Cantrell's Hall in New Orleans, Broadmoor neighborhood, which she shares with her husband, Jason, is an estimated worth to be upward of $500,000. And that's her entering and leaving the apartment building. And this is the lady that Tanya Haynes, that she's paying to be her stylist. I hope her stylist didn't buy this dress, because she should be slapped. This is a horrible dress. Stop it, stylist. Stylist shouldn't have bought this, okay? Hopefully she didn't. But anyway, this is what her stylist bought, I guess. And this is her lover. Now, she's no longer allowed in this apartment, they said. What did this say? Oh, and it's only 3 miles. That's what I said. And it's in the same neighborhood. This apartment is only 3 miles away from her home. She can't say for the argument for this, hey, I live so far away. I want to cut my drive time, so I go to this apartment to rest. Can't say that because your apartment is only 3 miles away. So what's your excuse, lady? Now, this other video, this is the last video I'm going to share about Latoya. And this is about her trip to Dubai. Her trip to Dubai. Cantrell's trip to Dubai with Officer Vappy cost taxpayers over $15,000.
Show Mayor Cantrell's trip to Dubai cost taxpayers around $15,000. She took the trip with one NOPD officer.
And Cantrell's trip was paid for by the U.S. Conference of Mayors, but the city picked up the tab for the member of her security detail. David Jones joins us now with more.
That member of her executive protection team was NOPD officer Jeffrey Vappy, one of the subjects of Lee Zurich's Outside the Office series. As Fox 8 reported earlier this month, the FBI has been asking questions about the time Cantrell and Vappy spent together.
From November 30th to December 7th, New Orleans Mayor Latoya Cantrell attended the COP28 Local Climate Action Summit in Dubai. While at the summit, Cantrell advocated to White House senior advisor John Podesta for federal funding for river infrastructure. She also sat on a number of panels talking about things like coastal restoration, resilience amid severe weather patterns, and funding sustainable infrastructure. She attended the summit accompanied by one NOPD officer, Jeffrey Vappy.
It's an appearance problem. It causes negative appearances by the taxpayers.
Lee Zurich's Outside the Office series showed Vappy spending hours on and off the clock with Cantrell in the city-owned Upper Pentalba apartment. Our stories on Vappy raised questions about the hours he was putting on his timesheet, questions federal investigators are asking.
It's not normal behavior for a politician who knows that they're under investigation by the FBI and by the U.S. Attorney's Office for potential financial impropriety.
Records show Cantrell's trip to Dubai cost more than $26,000. The city paid $1,300. Transportation and the hotel stay was paid for by the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Vappy's trip, meanwhile, was paid for entirely by the city, $14,500.
It would seem that the mayor should be more careful in creating the appearance of impropriety.
Dillard University political analyst Robert Collins says the trip adds further fuel to federal investigators' fire as they dive into Vappy's payroll records.
The mayor is fairly confident that she has not done anything wrong and that she can defend herself in court if it comes to that.
Cantrell has retained defense attorney Eddie Castang, while Vappy has retained former U.S. Attorney Harry Rosenberg to represent his interests. Collins raised the question of why Cantrell selected Vappy to take to Dubai over any other member of her security detail or even communications personnel.
The New Orleans Police Department has over 900 officers. The mayor can pick any security officer from the NOPD that she chooses. Why was it necessary, out of the 900 police officers that are commissioned in the New Orleans Police Department, why is it necessary to choose this one specific particular police officer?
Sources with knowledge of interviews federal investigators conducted say FBI agents have recently been asking questions about Cantrell and Vappy's relationship. Cantrell and Vappy have both publicly denied a personal relationship, with both calling their relationship professional. Meg.
New details about
I think they're going to continue to deny. Since they're on that road, they have to deny until if someone is in a deposition or under oath, they could lie to the public as much as they want. And they have to keep up with the lie. Why did she take him to this Dubai trip over everyone else? She could easily explain that away. Hey, he's the one most familiar with me. I mean, what do you want her to say? So, this is the one I'm more comfortable with. He has a exemplary record. I don't know. So, anywho, so you guys, I really appreciate you. Someone just put in the chat, did I have a super chat? If you're on Chawanne 2.0, that channel is not monetized yet. You have to come to my main channel to give me any super chats. But anyway, I really appreciate every single last one of you. Stay tuned or tune in for tomorrow. We'll be talking about something. I might go to immigration. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on immigration, and we'll probably have some political things that we want to talk about because Donald Trump was in New Hampshire and, he's facing off with Nikki Haley. Let the media tells it. They think Nikki Haley will be our next president. Don't know. They're priming her up to be. That's for sure. And I also want to talk about Nikki Haley because Nikki Haley was recently in the news explaining how she was, ostracized because of her race. She grew up in South Carolina as a brown girl, and she was disqualified from certain events because they didn't know how to qualify her ethnicity. She says she's a brown girl. You guys put in the chat, do you think Nikki Haley is a brown girl. So I don't know. I'm not for sure. I know she's Indian, but brown is a stretch. Okay, brown is a stretch. Thank you, Kathy. I really appreciate you. Great job. I really appreciate you guys. Like I said, Nikki Haley, it's a stretch. It's a stretch for her to call herself a brown girl. So she's trying to pull that racial identity politics. I guess she's trying to win over the black vote. Are you going to vote for Nikki Haley because she's a brown girl? Let me know. Let me know. Put it in the chat. And somebody's Centennial York said $5 Indian. Inmate, yes, that's another thing we're gonna talk about tomorrow. She had an entanglement. They're saying allegedly. They're saying that she had entanglement a few years back. So that's something that we going to talk about. Bill said, if you don't F your way to the top, be ready to coming down to the bottom. You gotta put your work in. That's basically what you gotta do. If not, you are going to go down. You're going to go down. Donald Trump is a prime example of that. He didn't kiss the right people's ass on his way up. So they trying to stump him out. That's what they're trying to do to Donald Trump. Anywho, you guys, thank you for tuning in. I am sending all my good to you, and I will talk to you tomorrow.